All right, everybody. It's the Arty 84 show live here from quarantine in our individual studios all around the country. It's episode 144. As always, below me, blew me earlier, we have Adam Mallett. Adam, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yeah, it's always good when we have some creative people on, and today we do. Joining us today on the Arty 84 show, I would like to welcome actor, writer, producer Jordan Campbell and singer-songwriter Cesar Cardona.
Woo!
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. You guys are all the way out in LA, left coast. It's 5 o'clock p.m. out there, and you guys are just about to eat dinner, and we're about to go to bed here out in the East Coast there. I'd first like to ask you guys, like I ask every week, because we've been getting people from all around the country, what the hell is life like out there during these past few months, especially in the LA area being a major population?
That's a good question. Cesar, do you want to go first?
Yeah, you go first, man. I don't even know what the hell I want to say.
Okay, yeah. Well, I tell you what, one guilty pleasure is traffic has been slower than usual. And so, I've been fast and furious to get out there. No, I drive the speed limit, but that's been okay. People are real big on the mask here. In my friend groups, if you're seen without a mask, it's,
You look down upon. It's like
it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's like not wearing a condom. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas when I was back in Indiana recently for vacation, it was a little bit more relaxed. I was in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, a little bit more relaxed. So LA is a bit more tight on it.
Is it a law out there that you have to wear it in public places, or is it just kind of like, whatever?
From what I've seen, it's a law.
Okay.
But it's pretty strictly enforced from the places I go to. Cesar, have you seen differently?
I don't know, like, so how's that?
I don't go out a whole lot, so maybe you've seen something different.
I mean, like, it's a law. I haven't seen, and I heard once in, I think it's Pasadena. Pasadena in LA it's so they can kind of push their own kind of law. A couple people got pulled over or got stopped by police by being outside without masks. But I'm in Burbank. I travel I go to Hollywood a lot. I go over the hill a lot. Anything like that. But to go in a store, most places are like, put a mask on or you got to get out.
Yeah.
It's not like it's law from what I've seen at least, but it's like people are just, putting their foot down.
It's basically how it is out here. You can't go into a public place without a mask on. And as for enforcing, there's some towns that are kind of taking it amongst themselves to make it so you have to wear it outside. Adam and I, we feel the need to wear it only when we approach a group of people. Today we were walking and we seen these group of people coming towards us, and we're rushing for our masks because we knew the sidewalks.
Yeah, I think for the most part, everybody looks at us already like we're assholes. Like you and me just kind of walk. Like, well, we'll put them on to go into establishments, do that, of course. But like everybody else is wearing them on sidewalks, and then there's me and him just walking together with our masks off, talking and laughing.
But me and him see each other every day, so it's like he's part of my my bubble. So. But it's like, what I mean? It's like when I see my wife and my kid, I'm like, I'm not wearing masks around them either because it's like they're in my bubble. So I understand, like, I've had people jump into the traffic to get away from me not wearing a mask. But, I mean, you're outside. I mean, I'm the biggest asshole because I drive around. I have a Jeep with no doors and a roof off, and I'm not wearing a mask. And then the guy next to me in a minivan by himself has like a gas mask on with the windows up, and I'm sitting looking at him like, well, who's the crazy person right now? You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I think it's something to be said about going outside where by yourself in this open space, you should be fine. I've kind of done the same thing when I go walking. I just keep it in my hand, or like sometimes I just have just the one hanging off the side of my ear. And I was walking down the street here, and I was daydreaming minding my own business. I just didn't realize that a couple was walking up towards me, and they were in the riskier age range. And I immediately just stopped and turned around, and it looked like I was like, like, is this your card? Or like, just like rob them or some shit, I turned to put the mask on, and I was like, they're gonna give me so much shit.
I do get annoyed at the gym though, because I feel like, here's the thing, like if either be an asshole and don't wear the mask, or wear the mask and put it over your nose, because I feel like when you're just wearing it like this, like you look like it's like wearing a condom just over your testicles.
No.
Like, yeah, like you're not
That's
using
impressive
it
if you can do
properly.
that.
like
It's
you're not using
or
it,
don't.
you know.
Cesar, you were saying about the one ear thing. I think that's gonna be a new kind of look. You know, I think people are gonna start rocking the one ear mask look.
You get like both with different styles, like match your outfit. You got one, you get the other, and then you decide which one you want to put on depending on what you're wearing.
Right.
What you're saying.
Because I mean,
I do like the fashion statements people are making with the masks.
That's true.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, all these all these companies and fashion designers and whatnot are monopolizing on this. They're like, well, people have to wear them, so let's make one. And more people will be like, I don't want to wear one of those surgical disposable masks. But if Gucci comes out with a mask, it matches my outfit, and if it's in the same color and patterns, and I could buy my dress or my shirt that matches the mask, and it all coincides, people will do so, and it would encourage people to actually wear it, which is actually not a bad thing when you think about it. But at the same time, I mean, if I knew what's going to happen 6 months ago, I would have invested in the mask companies, and I would have invested in Zoom company. I
know, right?
Sure.
I would have been a billionaire.
Yeah.
Well, I did luck out though. In the daytime, I am a boxing trainer. I teach boxing and fitness outdoors, but I've been doing that self-employed for like 3.5 years, and I've only did it outdoors. So as soon as people couldn't go to gyms, all my ads, like my friends of friends, my notifications just blew up. Like, hey, do you train outdoors? I heard you train outdoors. So I'm like, shit. Like I got ahead on that one.
Nice.
But now in the parks though, it's just like it's like a fucking country club out in the parks. Everybody's like in their little spots, stacked together. You know.
Yeah. I saw a cool Tai Chi group of like 20 people doing Tai Chi in complete sync. It was so beautiful. I wanted to join and just completely ruin it.
Just in the middle. If you're gonna violate their 6 feet, just get somewhere in the 3. You know what I mean? Or it's just really spoiled for everyone.
Exactly.
You sniffle a couple times.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't walk by someone and sneeze, because I mean, you might as well be screaming fire in a movie theater, because people will stop running like it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, all joking aside, I mean, it is something serious that's going on. But I think I feel like we're getting through it. I feel like the worst is behind us, and now we're just kind of cleaning up the damage and making our way through. I think. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Wishful thinking, I guess, but
I feel like I'm starting to get optimistic too. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are from California, so big news out in California last night, or yesterday, I should say, with Biden picking his running mate, a Californian. Now, Cesar, I know you back and forth in New York, lived in Florida and California. Jordan, have you always been from California, or you said Indiana? You had family, but
yeah, I grew up in Indiana and I moved out here in 2016.
Okay.
So Cali guy for 4 years. Yeah. So I still feel fresh sometimes. But.
Yeah. So are you guys familiar with the running mate? Was it?
Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Kamala Harris. Yeah, she's all right. She's I'm very, very liberal. I moved to California for a reason. I love California. I'm a California person. The East Coast has happened to be a place that I was just born. But this is my home. I kind of feel like both of them, their policy and their history, they're mostly closer towards the center,
Yeah.
Personally, I feel in the big picture of it. So I appreciate it. I think that when it comes up to going against Pence, for example, she's gonna just have him for lunch.
We're gonna eat him. Yeah. I mean,
that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking for like WWE style debates with Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. She's gonna eat him up, and I feel like she's gonna balance out Joe Biden's gaffes because she's pretty, articulate.
Yeah.
Should we throw them in a swimming pool full of lube? Would that be fun to watch? Would we want to see that?
I don't want to see Biden full of lube.
I don't know if Mike Pence's wife would sign off on that, but
in a weird way.
Mike Pence's defense, only be one woman, so he'd be happy with the 2 other guys, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because Harris was such a man eater during the debates, and Biden was one of her victims, and I mean she handled herself quite well, and for being politician out in California, not a federal senator or whatever, state senator, but someone who was just pretty much, a district attorney. And then she kind of did stuff just basically for the state of California that a lot of people didn't really know who she was. And all of a sudden she comes out in these debates and she's like gung-ho, kind of like guns blazing, taking people down. And I would say that it is pretty impressive.
She does bring it. She's got that like
hold her own.
That mother, that like strong mother, strong auntie archetype that comes in and just like, let me tell you something a couple times. Like she has that demeanor, which really fits for anybody who's, kind of weary about Biden and his dementia.
She knows how to ask the questions where any way you answer it, you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
I said it in her, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
When you compare the two, not comparing policies and whatever, but the way they handle being a politician, you can see that Harris and Trump are very unique in their own fashions of the way they pretty much just tell it how it is, one way or another, whether you believe or not. Which I think it's unique, and I think it's different from the norm that we've been used to for so many years. That like someone who just says, "Hey, listen, this is the way it is. Go fuck yourself," kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. If you go back,
I think everyone got tired of the fake politician. We all saw through it immediately. So it's time to just cut the bullshit and just get right to it. I think people respect it. That's, say what you will about Trump. I mean, I think he connected with everyone, on that level. Well, a lot of people on that level.
No, I didn't.
If you watch that footage of him talking, especially now we're so far past it, footage of him talking to Jeb Bush. Yeah. And he just devours. It's like a comedian. It's that kid in class that you just can't out-talk. Yeah. You can be 100% right, but you just can't out-talk the guy. He just out-comedian the cat.
Yeah.
And he destroyed so many people. Like, what's her name? Pocahontas. What's her name? She said she was Native American.
Warren.
Yeah.
Her career is just, oh, man.
She's not very popular in Massachusetts, I'm going to tell you.
No, definitely not.
It's a shocker.
I saw so many people boo-hooing that she didn't get the nomination, but it's like all Trump had to do was say Pocahontas on the debate stage, and she's done. You can't get that.
I got to tell you, there weren't people from Massachusetts boo-hooing because we don't like her around here. And she's very, very fortunate because right now Maki is our other senator, and he's going to the primary with Joe Kennedy III, which is the which is the grandson of Robert Kennedy. And,
the redheaded guy, right?
Redhead guy, yeah. And he's probably going to destroy Maki, and Warren is very fortunate that she wasn't going against him for the primary, because I don't think Maki really has a leg to stand on when it comes to a Kennedy in Massachusetts, for that matter, because there's still a lot of older people, baby boomers and stuff, who are alive who still remember the Kennedy way. I mean, we had Ted Kennedy as a senator for 42 years. Whether or not he did much or he did, that's up to everyone's opinion, I guess. But it's like a name that like stands, like you see that name and it automatically goes with politics. And it's like, if you don't know anything about both parties, you see that name. It's kind of like when you go to a store and you see like Pepsi, or you see like, Bob's Cola, right? What are you gonna? Most people go with Pepsi because they know the name. You know what I mean? I don't know about this Bob's Cola. I don't know what's gonna. You know what I mean?
Who the fuck's this Bob guy?
Yeah, like what the fuck does he think? Even though it's probably the best cola in the world. You know what I mean? This cola can kick ass, but people like McDonald's, right? Burger King, it's Brandon, right? And politicians, Kennedy, Brandon, boom, he has it right there. All he had to do was be gone, and he was Brandon. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do anything. He could just walked in to the polls, one day and be like, hey, my last name's Kennedy, and I'm related to all of them. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's well spoken too, and he's pretty well spoken also.
He is. Yeah, he does a pretty good job speaking. They love him. They love him around here. He wasn't in our district. He was more. I'm trying to think. He was more of the South Shore of Massachusetts district. But his dad was a good guy. His dad was this guy, obviously Joe Kennedy, the second, I believe. And he had this thing going on called Joe for Oil. And basically what he did was he worked with oil refineries from around the world. And he was able to get them to reduce or donate oil for people who were low income or couldn't afford to fill their oil tanks during the winters in Massachusetts, which, as you know, gets very cold up here. And, me and my wife filled out a tank a few months ago, and it costs $400 to fill your oil tank. And it only lasts maybe a month and a half if you're lucky. And that's if you're using the oil conservatively. So this Joe for Oil thing was a huge thing around here. And it really it was a very helpful thing. See, when politicians do stuff like that, it's helpful and it's helping people in that manner. It's, you could see like, all right, I can understand putting money towards something towards that, you know. But we're not a political show by the far. But I was just curious. I just want to get you guys' point of view on stuff because it's a topic of conversation these days, you know.
Oh, it's a huge. I mean, it's history. You know, the first Black woman, you know, on the ballot. On the bill, so
and for California, he's gonna get it anyway for our electoral votes. So no matter what or you know anybody's gonna.
You might as well throw Texas and California out because they always go one way. I mean, you have to go historically deep into many decades and when they did not. I mean, last time California voted Republican was Reagan, and that was what 88.
Right.
So I mean,
I wasn't born yet.
But that never happens. And just like Massachusetts is, I think the last time they voted Republican was Reagan as well. No, they did not actually. That election, I believe, he ran against. I forget my history, but I don't believe Massachusetts. I believe they still voted Democrat after all that. So, who the hell knows? We will find out. We're living history right here. It's kind of wild. We got a pandemic going on over here. It is an election of the world, you know, of one of the hugest elections in the state of this entire country is on the line in a few months. Things are wild, you know, but fuck, it's a ride, right? What's the worst that's gonna happen, right? We get taken over by a foreign country, and you know,
that's true.
I mean,
right?
But
New Zealand, please.
Well, New Zealand thought they got a. So do you see the thing? So that's a good topic. You see what's going on in New Zealand? They had closed their borders and they were like, no one's coming in. And then all of a sudden they get these rogue cases of COVID-19 and they can't figure out where the hell they came from.
That's so odd.
It's conspiratorial. I've been thinking about this a lot. Where the hell did they come from? I feel like some rogue agent came in, just kind of did a little rogue cough and backed out.
I mean,
so they close it completely?
I feel like they say they close things off, but I don't care. It's this 21st century. People are getting in. Nothing's ever closed off 100%.
Yeah,
I guarantee somebody somehow, some way, a group of people got in there that had it, and that's just what happened. It's
a bunch of guys on rafts coming from Australia just rowing across the
you know, you can never close everything off. It's impossible these days.
No, you still got to get imports come in some kind of way, right? It's all it takes is one person to like cough on and it's not left out for 24 hours or whatever.
That import things that come over there are strictly from there and don't go anywhere else.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's gonna happen.
It's like
I think that if I was them though, I would sit back and just understand that there's going to be a couple of anomalies where that happens. Like, okay, we're shooting for nothing, but we're going to get like 4 cases instead of the thousands who die a day in that other country.
Exactly.
It's really putting the bar really high. That's like going into like University of Texas saying this year we're going to have no cases of herpes. You know, you know it's going to happen. So it's like, you're really going to put yourself there in the hundreds. Like, all right, 100 co-eds are probably going to come down with some kind of STD because it's University of Texas or insert any university that people like to party right there.
Yeah, frankly, I'd be a little disappointed if there weren't any herpes cases. I mean,
those dorm parties aren't as well as they used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, Jordan, I would like to talk about your short film, Virginia Forever.
Yes, we got.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
No, you know what? It's right in my wheelhouse. Actually, it's one of those films that has. It's a slow burn, and it's like one of those things that's like it's smart because you want to see it through to the end to see what the hell is going to happen, you know? Yeah. And I feel like with filmmaking, that is kind of a risk because if it sucks, then it's like I'm not even going to see it through. But if it's captivating enough, then you're going to want to see it through to the end, and the payoff is hopefully worth it. In this case, I thought it was. I thought it was a very good short film. It kept my attention. I want to see what happened, and it didn't go the way I thought. It was pretty fucked up, but it was good.
For the people who haven't seen it, and I don't know if Cesar's seen it or not, but could you give us a brief synopsis of like what this short film is, just so, and then we'll dig into it a little bit more. But like for the people who are out there, maybe engaged on this and maybe want to go into YouTube and check this thing out.
Absolutely, yeah. So this short film, I was actually when I wrote it, I was writing a cheesy Hallmark Christmas movie. It is happy all day. And one day I was like, fuck this. I need to get some depressing shit up there. Wrote this like a madman in an hour. Filmed it. And with an insanely group of talented people. And basically the short film, it's about this woman whose wife goes missing. And it's her mourning the loss of, you know, the disappearance of her wife.
Okay.
And, you know, things unravel, and yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil too much, but anybody listening, it is worth it. But now you say you were in the middle of doing a cheesy Hallmark thing. So is that what inspired kind of the beginning, like where they're kind of in love, and like that's what it kind of looked like?
Yeah.
When I first started watching it, I was like, this looks like it's supposed to be on the Hallmark Channel, right?
Yeah,
and then it
yeah.
just kind of tapers. We start going down this really dark alley. And I liked it. It was really good. Yeah.
I really wanted to throw a curveball where it's like, I want to throw you this fairy tale movie where you fall in love with these people in like 3 minutes, and I want to completely just like put the knife in and fully twist it, and just like that thing you loved, it's not there anymore. It's not there anymore.
And that's what you did. Because I think you did a great job in the beginning, kind of like being a short film, kind of giving you a history, like kind of giving you the whole like relationship to a point, kind of like that musical montage, and you know, and them talking and conversing with each other and trying to get an idea about like who they are and establish character development. And without saying too much, you developed the characters so much that I picked an enemy. Like you get two characters and you pick the one who's the bad person. I picked the bad. I go, all right, that is the person that's going to be causing trouble in this relationship. And boy, was I wrong.
That is so funny. I love seeing who people identify with, because you're right. There's two sides to it. It's like a Rorschach test. Some people identify with one of the girls, and the other identifies with the other girl.
I also appreciate too how it's fucked up, but it's not graphic. I feel like a lot of problem nowadays when people try to disturb you is they just throw gore at you and try to do this, and that's just kind of roll my eyes when I see that. It's like, oh well, that's gross, but I don't feel like it's fucked up, you know. And but like when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's just fucked up. Like I didn't even need any gore or anything. It was like, oh, that's great. You know, there are a few movies like that now that I think like get that. You know, they can pull that off, and you did. It was great.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it was a deliberate choice to not show a whole lot, and to make or have the audience imagine and work for themselves, fill in the dots, because that is scarier in a way.
Now, I do notice there are two other films you have kind of that come up under your name. Is there's a Ghost in the Bedroom and What We Want for Christmas.
Yes.
What We Want for Christmas horror? I don't know. Like I see Ghost in the Bedroom. I saw this one, and I knew, you know, those both horror. So What We Want for Christmas? I don't know. What we want for Christmas? A vibrator? What? I don't know. What's going on?
You know, it could be. I would say this. I would say this is What We Want for Christmas. I love that short. I feel like not a lot of people
I'll check it out.
Got it. If you like similar, I'll just say fucked upness with that you enjoyed with this, I think you'll identify it. So basically that short, it's about a pizza delivery person who delivers a pizza to a woman on Christmas Eve night. And I'll just leave it at that. Wow. And I think a lot of people follow me on Twitter. Not a lot of people. I have like 400 followers. But people who follow me on Twitter, it's too many, really. Too many. I tweet out dick jokes, you know? And so people don't expect these like artsy fartsy movies from me. I try and keep people on their toes. So I think that was the first short we did, and it threw people off. And so, but I really like it.
So something I found unique was the shots of like, so short movies are tough enough as it is, because you need to establish characters, you need to establish plot, and you need to have some kind of ending in a matter of, you know, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, a half hour, depending on how long you want to make it. So to develop and everything, you have to accelerate. You don't have room for any fat or any of that garbage. So there was like, what got me, I don't know, it was just because I was after lunch and I was just chilling, but like the way there's a scene where she wakes up and she's like brushing her teeth. And I feel like the brushing of the teeth was like a beat or two longer than it should be on camera, but there was this oddness of like, why is she brushing her teeth longer than like you were waiting for something. It was like, you know, you would see something, right? But I felt like I was waiting for something to happen. And then all of a sudden it cuts to her driving. I'm like, well, what's going to happen now? You know what I mean? It's like, why is this taking longer than it would take? And it's all this anticipation that would built up to what you finally figured out and you started piecing it together. But I was like, wow, okay, it it was interesting. But were those intentional moves, or was it just kind of like, I just want to show this girl really brushing, getting a thorough, our molars really thoroughly clean.
We support thorough brush cleaning. We want to show the full 3 minutes that the dentists recommend.
She's mouthwashing, she's flossing, and she's in there with the water.
Yeah, she's like, oh, there's deleted scenes of her fucking flossing. And, yeah. I didn't want my dentist to see it and think badly of me.
That's right. We all lied to our dentist. So now
that is,
tell the truth. So
I'll drink to that. No, that was a deliberate move to make you feel awkward and uncomfortable and just sit in her like loneliness, because the beginning it moves kind of fast paced, and it completely disrupts that fast paced tone with a slow, hanging on, awkward. And one thing our set deck girl, she did was in the beginning, you see her and her wife brushing her teeth. And there's a thing of flowers, and they're beautiful and lively. But when you go back and see her alone, the flowers are dead, and And so we wanted to show that a bit, and but overall, just disrupt the tone and just make it cringy and awkward and make you think.
Yeah, it did, man.
Good,
it did.
yeah.
Oh, And even the way you left scenes, I thought were interesting. There was a particular scene where it shows kind of a flashback with a reality scene coming towards the end. You probably know what I'm talking about, the stairwell, whatever.
Yeah.
And the way you kind of interjected the initial part of the scene was, it was almost like it was at real time. It was to date. So you figure she's concluding what she was suspecting, with clues kind of peppered around that maybe she's still around. Where is she? And then coming full circle with like the flashback to the front to really, I was like, that's what I said to Adam. Like, all right, I know what happens at the end, and I thought it was a simple, conclusion, and then oh man.
When we were filming and when I wrote it, I was because you never know what you're making until it's done and the people tell you. And for the whole time we're making it, I was banking on, all right, I hope they're thinking this happens, but this is, and so because it's especially with drama and thriller stuff, it's been done so many times different ways. It's hard to come up with a new perspective. And so it's really, I try and make these big swings just to, you got to go big or,
Yeah.
So what's next? I mean, like, I know COVID has kind of slowed things down for everybody, but like, what's on the horizon coming up for you? Are there any projects you kind of going through in your head or you want to do, or like what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just got back from a meeting with my director and the blonde actress. We're setting up a new film, a new short to shoot, similar drama. And other than that, I've been writing TV pilots. I just did a sports comedy that's kind of similar to The League.
Nice.
I am writing a feature that's about a down-on-her-luck MMA fighter that comes back to her hometown to find that it's been taken over by Satan-worshiping cultists.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And I submitted to the Disney Writing Fellowship. So I'm always writing and just applying myself in all different genres. And so...
Yeah. Same here. I feel that it sucks though, because I feel like the pandemic really killed a lot of momentum for people.
Yeah,
it really did. I write too, and like I've been writing this short for my brother's friend. He's in New York, for these people in New York City, and they loved it. And then it looked like it was coming together, and then the pandemic kind of happened and slowed everything down. And now it's like, oh well, is this going to pick up again? We don't know, because let's face it, it's not like it's a Hollywood production here. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has other things they're doing too, so it's hard to kind of pick things back up again. And the way it's funded, it's not like I said, it's not like it's Hollywood, so people have to kind of come back on the same page. So that takes time, and it sucks.
I'm sure Adam, one of the hardest things about filmmaking is simply just getting everyone's schedules aligned.
Yes.
It's so hard.
It is.
I filmed a feature in Indiana before I came out here, a horror comedy, and we had our model not show up for 3 weeks in a row on the day.
Wow, see that cool?
It was one of those things where it was like, maybe we should get a new model? I mean, what do you guys think? She hasn't shown up for 3 weeks? Like, I don't know.
I mean, at that point, why wouldn't you just replace her? Is she that cool? Like, was she sleeping with somebody?
Cool, but we got someone cooler.
There you go.
All right, there you go. There it is.
Yeah. Adam and I both been in features, like small little, films and whatever. Adam more than I have, but I know just on and firsthand, like that's the hardest. You're right. That's the hardest part because everyone because the people like Adam and I aren't doing this to make money or for a living. We're basically doing it like for a hobby or to build our portfolio. So we're obviously working real jobs that are paying our bills, during the day. So it's like, it's tough to get everything aligned, and then getting everyone involved. And some guy's a waitress, but the other guy works at, an engineering company. So their hours are different. So you have to find that one time period, and it's tough.
It's insane. Independent filmmaking is so, it's hard. And it's just like, getting the equipment, getting the right people.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about filmmaking, though, I'm sure you guys have stories about this. It's constant problem solving because every day on set, something
breaks.
Yeah.
Yep. Something doesn't go the way you want it to, and everyone's late. But I'm sure it's worse in California too, because nobody's on time in fucking California.
Look at the Dodgers. They don't come to the fourth inning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you get there and we can't use the location anymore. We have to find new location in an hour. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Where do you get most of your funding for these films? Do you kind of go out there and do like a GoFundMe, or do you kind of just find people who want to invest and putting some money towards it?
Right now, we've just been funding it ourselves. We've been gracious enough where the crew people, they've been willing to work for free. They just believe in the projects. The actors have worked for free. Mm-hmm. Eventually, we want to do a short, a feature that's like 70 minutes or a little bit, lighter than that.
Yeah.
And that we'd want to pay people because working on a feature, that's a big commitment. It's asking a lot of people. So we might go into GoFundMe and Kickstarter, but if it was up to me, I'd bump into some rich doctor. I think I might just pace back and forth outside of hospitals and hope I can bump into someone.
Yep. We need people. Me and Adam would be more happy to fly out there and kind of just.
I got friends out there. Our fan base is out there already. Most of our listeners are in California.
I know. Me and Adam could be sitting in the background drinking a coffee and just fill space. We're good at doing that. We do that every day at work. So.
Well, that'd be great. I'd be more than happy to have you guys, and I'll gladly come up there and be collab with you guys out in Massachusetts.
Let us know. There's a lot of good scenes to film out here. We have a lot of good scenery.
I want to go to Boston to go to Fenway. That's on my goal, my big bucket list.
Yeah,
damn right. Absolutely.
It's like it's the mecca of baseball. I would say. That Yankee Stadium back in the day, but the new Yankee Stadium is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have the same feel. Right now you really only get, I feel, 3 stadiums in the entire country that still have that. It's Dodger Stadium in LA, which still has that nice, authentic, 1950s style, great scenery, old school baseball stadium. Wrigley Field in Chicago, which goes really, really far back into the early century of the beginning of baseball. And that has been somewhat not touched and mostly, captured in time. And then you have Fenway, which is kind of a hybrid of the two, where it still has the, unique features of a ballpark that was kind of built and because it had to be built around its property line, but also has the old school feel, but also the modern, feels to it as well.
Those are the 3 original stadiums that are the oldest stadiums too.
3 oldest stadiums too. Yeah. Yes. So I think believe it or not, the 4th oldest stadium is the Angel Stadium. And
it was in the 50s.
That was the late 50s, right? Early 60s, and it was the old school. This old school cement kind of round type of stadium, and that they kind of all phased out except for Anaheim. Still in Oakland are still holding on to these old school stadiums, and it's like. Very interesting when it comes to baseball. But
did you see the proposal for the new A's stadium?
I feel bad for the Oakland A's, and I can tell you why. Because
stadiums.
The Oakland A's are the redheaded stepchildren of Major League Baseball because they started in Philadelphia, they got booted out of there because the Phillies were more important. They went to Kansas City, got booted out of there because then the Kansas City Royals came a couple more years later and said, "Sorry, we're getting a new stadium." And sorry, bye-bye, Oakland A's. So then they find a home in Oakland, and all they want is they're the only team, I mean, now that the Raiders are gone, but we're the only team still playing in a multi-use stadium, and I've been to the Coliseum, and it must be great for football, but it's terrible for baseball. It's kind of a dump. And every year they come a new proposal for a new stadium, and I remember they were going down to Santa Clara or San Jose area, and the the Giants said no, and they made a big stink, and they said, get the hell out of here. This is our territory. And the poor A's is just sitting there like a homeless child on the street in their like paper box of a stadium, you know?
And before the pandemic, their stadium during games still looked like they look now. It's so sad to see. You're totally right, man. I'm a big Dodger fan. And I would follow, all the West Coast games. That's usually when the games come on, schedule, whatever. I'd look at the top of the stadium when someone hits a home run. I'm like, what the hell is everybody?
No, I went out to, so I did this thing before I was 30 years old. I wanted to see all 30 ballparks. So my last 3 ballparks on the list that I had to go see was Oakland, San Francisco, and Seattle. So I was out, so I did 3 or 4 days. I stayed in the Bay Area, and so the night I was going to go to the Oakland game, I go out there, and I go to the game Thursday night. There's no one there, and it's like it's empty. There's people are peppered throughout the stadium. So I start wandering like I usually do, and I'm wandering up, and I somehow get into like the club level, and I don't know how I got up there. I just kind of wandered up there, and then I kept on walking, and then I got through this area where it looked like you were supposed to have special tickets for. And no one stopped me, so I didn't stop. So I kept on going, and then I ordered a beer at the bar and kind of just pretended to be there. So then they have like the balcony, so you go out and you can sit out there and watch the game. So I go out there and I'm like just standing there watching the game, and I'm there for an inning. And then I go, I get a little ballsy, so I'm like, I'll just take a seat. I don't see no one's been out here for an inning. I'll go take a seat. So I go take a seat and I sit there, and I'm there probably till about the 7th. It was the 6th inning because you can still get drinks. And this sweet little old lady actually came up to me and she said, excuse me. And I go, she's like, are you supposed to be here? And I go, to be honest with you, no. I go, well, I gotta be honest with you. I told her my story. I've been traveling the country, going to baseball stadiums, and I wandered around and I wandered into this area and no one stopped me. So I kept on wandering, and then I got a drink, and then I got some balls and I sat here, and I go, how, is that obvious I'm not supposed to be here? And she's like, yeah. She's like, we don't allow people to sit out here in this section during games. That's why I go, this is what blew my cover. I go, this is what I did. I go, I would have been all right if I stayed in here. And she starts laughing. She goes, I can't have you sit out here because people will know you're not supposed to be here. But once you leave here and you kind of, she's like, you could feel free to just like kind of mingle around. And I go, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I did.
Like you sat in the one spot no one can sit.
That happened to me twice. Once in Oakland, and the second time was in Cincinnati. It was a Monday afternoon game it was the Reds versus the Pirates. Both teams suck. And I wandered around like I usually do, and I had standing room seats. So when I usually had standing room seats, I would go find an area that had people in it, but I would just find a random seat and sit there for an inning and walk around and not make myself too obvious. So in Cincinnati, apparently, there was like these huge sections they had blocked off, similar to what they do in Oakland, but Oakland puts the tops over them. Well, Cincinnati didn't do this. So I just went off and sat into left field, and I sat there for like an inning, and an usher came over to me and goes, you're not supposed to be sitting here. And I'm looking to my left. I'm looking to my right. I don't see a person for five sections. And I go, is it a problem? And he's like, we close these sections during the games. I'm like, oh. He's like, I was just wandering around. He was not nice. He told me to leave and go back to the designated standing area, which I did not do. But I made it look like I did just to pacify his needs. It was almost like Paul Blart, the mall cop, was he needed someone to bust that day. You know what I mean?
Now, Cesar, I'm going to say right now, I am slightly jealous of you because, so on YouTube, if I YouTube your name, the first thing that comes up is that Lavender and Lemon song on First Coast Living, and that was 7 years ago, and you barely aged, buddy.
Yeah, you look.
I appreciate it.
I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, dude, this dude doesn't age. Like, what the hell? I'm completely. So how long have you been writing and doing music? And you've been in the game for a long time. Ladies must love it too. Any guy with a guitar, it's like.
I learned how to play an instrument just to get laid. Hasn't worked.
I think years trying to perfect the harmonica. Haven't gotten laid yet.
I'm too busy with the skin.
Triangle doesn't count, man. You can't play the triangle. You're not gonna get laid from that. Yeah, man. I've been playing for a good while. So I was 16, 17. I was self-taught guitar, piano, trumpet, and started singing as well. I taught myself every single thing, and then that thing happened on television, which was really dope. Somebody found me, put me on this news thing, this morning show, I should say, which was awesome. And actually, lo and behold, considering the ladies. I was so they showed it. It's on there live, and they show it. It's on Friday. They show it at noon, and then again at like 4, and then they show it throughout the weekend the whole time, right? Well, this is the very first time I did a live performance on television. So I was just like, oh fuck, I got to see what I look like, or like what did I do wrong? I'm critiquing it, like of course I shouldn't have said that. Whatever the hell, right? Anyway, so I'm standing in my kitchen on Facebook, just like looking around waiting for my performance, and I go on the performance, I talk, I watch myself perform, watch myself talk and do the interview, and they asked for my Facebook information, and I said, my social media. I said Cesar Cardona, and then blah 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 blah, and as soon as I said, I remember on Facebook the friend request posted pop, like 4 requests, 5 requests, 6 requests. Just girls.
Nice.
A ton of them. It was crazy. Anyway, but I noticed that. It was like, and that's not me bragging. I was like, holy, who's watching this at noon on a Friday?
Yeah,
that's more my process.
Pony housewives.
Guys.
Pony housewives.
Housewives.
Guys, girls, I find them both flattering. This guys, girls. Listen. I always know that if I ever want to switch, I have a starting position as on both teams. So, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, sure.
That's hilarious.
Now we go back to you. It was so strange though. That was just nuts, and maybe there was guys too, probably. And fuck, who cares? I just remember seeing that. I was like, my goodness.
People like.
Of course, I was 21, I think. I forget how old I was then, but I was very intrigued by that. Anyway, I'm self-taught musician, like I said, and then I did that. I won some singer-songwriter awards in the East Coast too. Like you just submit yourself and you go up to tournaments.
Nice.
And once I finished those, I just played more and more shows around. And I'm a gig person. Like I just like get on stage, playing. The social media side is the worst for me because I just like whatever, man. But it's tough, but it's a necessary thing. It's really needed,
Yeah. What's your favorite instrument? Like not necessarily what you're best at, but like what is your favorite? I mean, they can be two different things.
Oh, my piano, without question.
Piano? Nice.
It's like legit. It's like right here.
Nice.
Look at that.
I'm sitting at it.
I love piano this whole time.
I know. You can be toggling back and forth between not even listening to us and playing piano.
That's why you
see his hands up here when you hear a piano key, like dong.
But I'm like this talking, and I'm like, I don't know where that's coming from. I have no idea. I'm like just playing up and down.
You're sitting next to Jordan's sitting next to Final Cut Pro in his camera right there. You guys is natural. You guys just sit there with your tools.
Exactly. We're just mad geniuses, always working.
Yeah. Anyway, piano's probably my favorite. Like I said, I dig it so very much. It speaks. It hits what I'm shooting for at all times. And most musicians who play piano would kind of say this similar thing, that you can kind of it's laid out for you. The instruments. Most other instruments are kind of like compressed, but this you can write for other instruments or harmonies because it's so spread out, and it's a percussion instrument too. It's very easy for you to just do this while talking consistently, whatever you want to say, offbeat or on beat, either way. But to like do a strum and hold, it just takes a little more extra skill. So this is much more commandable, I guess.
You know what I think the coolest instrument is, but it's like the most dorky that nobody ever wants to talk about, is the the accordion. You got to use air and all these fucking buttons. Like I think it's kind of cool, but like it looks like just awkward and nerdy and like.
And there's a keyboard on the accordion, so you can actually play.
Yeah,
right?
It's impressive.
It's just an idea. You can do it next show.
I would say, I mean, I'm sure you're the type of guy who can pick up any instrument and figure out how to play it in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Just because you're just naturally gifted with the musician skills,
Bring it to me. I'll figure it out. Why the hell not?
Hell yeah! Right?
I've always wanted to be at a party and see the guy pull out the guitar and start strumming, and then, like you said, Adam, bring my accordion and just start over.
Bagpipes to start that. You think someone just died in South Boston?
Yeah.
That was great. That's amazing. Yeah, the piano I find is it's my favorite instrument to play as well, because you can lay down a bass and you can kind of harmonize and you can play to it, and it's actually, for me, my number one instrument is percussion, but you're using different parts of your brain. And the piano, you have to do the same, because you're playing. You can relay the rhythm down, but then you can kind of lay over it and kind of play around with it and change the tones. And I think my favorite musicians out there are piano players, Billy Joel and, you know, the top one, Elton John. And it's like they tell a story with the instrument. You know what I mean? Like they can really change the tone and change the feel of the room by just hitting certain notes and different combinations and kind of just like, you know, you hear a song and it really pulls at you and you're like, damn, like I know what they were thinking when they came up with that tune, you know? Or like, you know how they felt when they finally put those notes together and they're like,
oh man,
they knew it. You know it right there. You're like,
yeah.
damn, this is the song, you know?
Yeah. There's no question about it. No, I get that for sure.
With the trumpet, so the first instrument I learned how to play was trumpet, and that was back when I was in second grade. And for a 7-year-old, the trumpet is a little cumbersome to play, and the ability, and the fact that, you know, it only has 3 valves, and the notes are pretty much, you know, determined by the amount of air pressure you put into this instrument. And as a 7-year-old with small lungs, to hit those high notes was the challenge among all challenges. And I used to look at I only picked up trumpet because my grandfather was a trumpet player in a band back in the day. So we had this beautiful trumpet that we got refinished, and my school was putting on this program and they were allowing people to take lessons for free. So my parents like, get in there and do it. And here I am, 7 years old with this giant trumpet that is the size of me. And my instructor is telling me to hit these notes, and I'm like, I don't think I have the lung capacity to hit that note, to be honest with you. I mean, I have to just sit there, and you're doing that thing with the, you know, I'm practicing.
Embouchure.
Yeah, right?
Embouchure.
And you get the numb lips. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But
did you get past the stage of it sounding dreadful?
Yeah.
Everybody has to go through that stage.
But I mean, my parents probably hated me because, my parents were glutton for punishment because I'm 7 years old, you know, off tune trying to get this thing going. I probably didn't find my you know, my buzz with it till probably like 9-10 years old at this point, right? And at this point they had already gotten me a drum set as well, so because I really wanted a drum set for Christmas. So now I'm making all types of noise in the house, you know. And then I meet my friends and we start a band, so now all of us are making a lot of noise in the house, you know. And I was the drummer, so I couldn't bring my drums to a friend's house because that would just make no sense. They come over here and they just make loud noise. And so we were 13 years old to figure out how to actually put a song together. My parents are complete angels for putting up with it. But in my defense, they did purchase me these instruments.
I was gonna say, yeah, they can't hate anybody but themselves. They said it's a great idea.
What was your band name?
I don't even know. What was yours? So, I remember mine. I had a band. Arty, what was yours again?
We started as Accident Prone because I had just crashed my dirt bike into the fence and broke my nose, and then got kicked in the eye in a fight and got a black eye. So I was very accident prone. Then we found out there was a band out of Ohio already named Accident Prone, so we didn't want to infringe on them. They were way more established than us at Revere High School sophomores. We really liked the movie Dumb and Dumber. So we were all born in '84. So we were calling ourselves the '84 Sheepdogs, like the vehicle that drove in Dumb and Dumber. And then we gathered a couple more people for the band. And as being immature juniors in high school, we Googled that the average size of the male penis is 6 inches. So why not call ourselves Average 6? So
I like that.
That's stuck for years, to the fact that we were seniors in high school, and our guidance counselor, who was running the talent show, came up to us and goes, "Average 6, but there's only 4 of us. Is there a story?" And of course, we all look at each other and start giggling like, you know, immature 15, 16-year-olds. And we were like, "Oh, there used to be 6 of us, but they quit." But Adam, what was your band name? Yeah,
I was the drummer for Evil Petting Zoo.
That's right. I do remember.
Wow, where are those mixtapes? I need to hear this band.
It's an Austin Powers reference because, you know, like Scott said, you know, I want to grow up and I'll be a veterinarian. I'll maybe open a zoo. He's like an evil petting zoo.
Yes.
So
that sounds so metal.
We tried to be. It didn't work out that way though. We all had the problem with us was we all had different ideas of how we wanted the band to go. I was like the drummer who was like, "Brr," but Sean wanted to play more of the classical stuff, right? And then our bassist, so we were all over the place, and we could never really get it together the way we wanted it to. It just wasn't there.
Now, Cesar, did you play in bands, or were you kind of just a solo guy and kind of just did your own thing a little bit?
Yeah, I played bands. I used to play in a couple bands, a reggae blues band, funk band. For a while, I started gigging. I started writing more music for my personal band as like a blues rock. I'd go more towards the bluesier side. So then I would set myself up to play gigs and open for the band I was playing for, and then vice versa. So I spent.
You would open for your own band?
Yes, like once I figured out that these guys were like had more momentum than I had in the East Coast, I was like, all right, cool. So let me just write some more songs that sound similar to this. So I wrote more songs, brought it to my band. My band was down to play whatever the hell I wanted them to do, which was great.
Yeah.
We were called the Ethics, but nothing compared to Evil Pettings or anything. It was a little more like serious tone, you know.
You guys are very mature for your ages.
So I would set up, like, if they had gigs, like, I know a band that can open for you guys. Like, yeah, who is it? There's a band called The Ethics. Cool. What are they? You know, can I hear someone? Yeah, for sure. Whatever. Okay, cool. What's the guy's name? Oh, it's me. They're like, all right, well, you know, you can play already, kid, because you play with us, so you might as well open for us. And then when we got big enough to start opening other shows, we would just have both of those shows playing. So we won't take up all the time, would just be on stage consistently the entire time.
Awesome.
So I moved to LA though. Yeah, it was super fun. The whole East Coast and the southern part of America's so good when you play blues and funk. They love the hell. I mean, southern blues is just the shit. You know?
Yeah.
That anyway. But since I moved to California, I've been playing solo and I was playing with my bands and playing around the whole city.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you been playing any Zoom concerts or anything during the pandemic, or like performing like on like, you know, Instagram, just kind of giving people a little like flavor, you know?
Some Instagram posts for sure, and I want to do a jam session because my bass player's got this massive apartment in downtown LA, and it's big open space. It looks like it's like an office lot almost. Yeah. And so we want to maybe get something like that together for a Zoom jam session.
Yeah.
And it's open space enough that we literally can be 12 feet apart.
Socially distanced.
Wow.
Not a problem. Look at that.
Social distance band?
Social distance. We're called Social Distance Band. That's probably the new name then.
That's
I
social
like
distance.
that.
Great name.
Everyone's wearing, the vocalist is wearing a mask.
Socially distant sounds like a band that would be big in the 90s, like a grunge band.
It does,
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Like an after school special band.
They open for Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah. Gentlemen, on the ticket, social distance. Yeah. Come out.
Like the Wiggles.
Right?
Cesar, can I ask a question?
Yeah, man.
Do you have any favorite crowd interaction moments? Because that's why I love going to concerts when like the singers, like, you know, says something that I feel like they only said at this time at this concert.
Oh man, you know, it was a year ago, like a year and a week ago almost. I saw it pull up on my Facebook memories. I was playing this festival, this outdoor festival. Rest in peace, outdoor festivals. I was playing them downtown LA, and the streets just full of all these people. And I was playing this gig, and every end of the song, it was like moderate applause, moderate here and there. I was like, man, these guys are not digging it. What the fuck is going on? And typically, you know, I play pretty well. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to just keep doing what the hell I want to do. And it kind of gives you a little more room to maybe do what the hell you want to do. Because if they're not digging it, either you can do worse or you can do better. Yeah. But you can have fun either way, right? Anyway, I played it, and I even posted online because the clip was so good. Moderate applause every song. Moderate applause every song. Moderate applause. Moderate applause. As soon as we were done, I know, it was ridiculous. As soon as we were done, it's like, we got one more song to play for you guys. It's called It's Now. We play the song. We get done, finish it. I go, thank you. It's like someone just like electrocuted these people. They all just stood up and started yelling, more. And it was like just the weirdest mores I ever heard. And then I'm like, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Some woman came right to the front of the stage. She started screaming and saying all this. I was like, thanks, appreciate it. But we had other bands coming up. This woman walks up, and you can, on the video, I watched it not too long ago, you can hear me say on the microphone, the woman walks up, and I was like, you know, they're asking for more. She goes, nice. Okay, guys, give it up for give her shit. She didn't care. She was like, screw this. And then anyway, that was probably the most interesting time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like your mom picking up the phone when you're like in high school talking to some girl and be like, all right, you had enough on the phone tonight. You guys
you're done.
Damn.
That's probably the most inspiring part, I'd say.
That's pretty cool. So you have the keyboard set up. Would you mind playing a song for us, kind of, you know, or?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Going.
All right, let me see. Let me make sure you guys can hear everything.
It's like inside the director's studio. It's pretty. Next week we're gonna watch Jordan film a movie from behind. It's gonna be great.
That's right. Yeah.
Got my stuff ready because I was not prepared.
Sorry, we didn't mean to put you on the spot, but we appreciate it though. You know, it's
No worries. I'm gonna take these off so I can hear the music.
yeah.
Go for
All
it,
right,
man.
And you guys can hear this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a bop right there.
Done. I'm closing the fucking.
You are good.
Summer, baby, I'm about to be someone's baby. Summer, baby, I'm about to be under someone's baby. Well, I can't hold this ice cube any longer. Time to let some of you melt for someone stronger. Healthy for me, cause there's no cure for egos lately. How could this be that you don't seem to care about me? Things couldn't be better on a day like forever. But now I see a forecast of coming weather is summer, baby. I'm about to be someone's baby. Summer, baby. I'm about to be under someone's baby. Well, I can't hold this ice cube any longer. It's time to let some of you melt for someone stronger. Crazy she be in a world without normality and poverty, but it's free to take accountability. Things couldn't be better on a day like forever now, but now I see a forecast of coming weather is summer, baby. I'm about to be someone's baby. Summer, baby, I'm about to be someone's baby. Well, I can't hold this ice cube any longer. Well, time to let some of you melt for someone stronger. I said, I can't hold this ice cube any longer. And it's time to let some of you melt for someone stronger.
All right.
Nice. That's good. It's chill. I liked it.
I did. It had pretty good, kind of a jive, kind of like I like it. Was like, you know, I could picture being like somewhere in a park,
Yeah, it puts me in a good place. It puts me in a really good place.
That was a straight definition of a serenade. Like, that was so soothing.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
I needed that. Thank you.
Kind of an old school, kind of like jivey, kind of like, you know, I could picture a big band behind it with some horns kind of filling in the blanks and a deep bass going in there and stuff, you know?
I'm still putting the rest of it together. I just sent it off to my saxophone player. She's going to lay some sax on top of it. And then everything else is pretty much done with it.
Hell yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for like last minute,
man.
like just throwing a keyboard. And
I know, right? I know, right?
It's like having Mo Vaughn on, you know, a baseball player on, being like, "Hey, am I hitting a couple home runs for me real quick?"
A couple balls for us.
Awesome. So, all right. So we're getting the end of the show. Cesar, this is your time. Promote us. Also, to Jordan and Cesar, send Ryan your links for all your information so we can put it up on the podcast informational section so people can listen as well. So after this, to send it to him, I'll have it up this week. So, but what do you plug in, Mr. Cesar?
For sure. And Jordan, I do want to know the name of that short film that you just put up on YouTube.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, I'll throw you a link. It's called Virginia Forever, and it's we can't have it on public yet for festival guidelines reasons, but I can throw you a private link so you can
Awesome.
watch.
That totally works. I appreciate it. I missed it in the beginning, so that's why I just want to make sure I get that before I got off.
Sure,
yeah, so right now, like I said, I'm putting these songs together. I'm making a nice short album. Instagram, it's Theclewmusic, Clew music.
Cool.
Theclewmusic, which is dope. Cesar Cardona, you find Cesar Cardona on Facebook. Instagram, Cesar Strong. But honestly, the most important part right now is Theclewmusic. Clew on Instagram, and from there it's all the live stuff, the YouTube, Instagram TV, the Soundcloud, blah 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 blah.
Nice, perfect. We will be checking that out for sure, and I think everyone out here listening should also do so as well. Jordan, you said you have the private link. You can't. So we've been privy to seeing this creation, which is I feel very honored.
Really, it's on YouTube though, right? It's on YouTube.
So we get
So it's a private link. We haven't set it on public yet. It was on public.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
We set it for public for a week for a limited quarantine screening.
I get you.
And then we had to close it off for festival reasons. But I can totally hook you guys in with a private link. You know, we've been through this magical podcast experience together.
Yeah.
So,
when will the public see it?
So I'm hoping by the end of this year, we should know by all the festival what we got in, what we haven't, and you know. So by the end of the year, it should be made public for everyone. You can share it with your grandma, your kids, whoever, you know, share it to the whole family.
All the twisted people you know.
Yeah.
Like
throw it up there.
Fuck of a cliffhanger.
It's a good first date movie, honestly, I think.
Yeah. I made the mistake of seeing that Ben Affleck movie where he was accused of killing his
Gone Girl
on a date many years ago with a girl I just started dating, and I looked over to her and I go, "Damn."
Don't you get any ideas?
Like a taxi driver, man. I took it to the wrong movie in the beginning.
Shit.
Any girl that says Gone Girl is her favorite movie, I'm like, yo.
No way.
Yeah. Don't have to do with that.
Yeah. Best endeavors to you, you know.
And so Jordan, do you have a website that people can check out some of the other works and all that good stuff, or just a social?
Yeah, so our production company is called 90 Degree Films, and so if you type that in, the site should be, you know, one of the first things that pops up. Follow me on Twitter. It's at Soupy Doopy, SOUPYDOUPYY. My last name's Campbell, so my nickname's Soup.
Ah, makes sense. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, and so follow me if you want controversial movie opinions and dick jokes that were written like by a 14-year-old. So
nice.
Okay,
yeah.
considering your last name and also you being a writer, are you a fan of, or if you know, Joseph Campbell?
You know what? I need to read his works. But yeah, his books I hear are amazing. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have so much. Hold on.
The Man with 1,000 Faces.
Oh boy!
Wow, this guy is supporting my great-grandfather's stuff.
Dude, he is so amazing. This is the book you would want to get as a writer, as an artist of any kind. You want to grab the Hero with 1,000 Faces.
That's what it is. Hero with 1,000 Faces. Yeah.
It's so brilliant. So this book, and I'll keep it real quick because I know you guys got to split. He wrote this book. Came out like late 40s, I want to say, and it ties in the monomyth that every single story that we tell and we live in life is just the same story,
right?
But just different detail, right? And then he uses that into the expression of our psychology of who we are as people, using like Jungian psychology, to explain why we dig it so much. So he wrote this guy who was writing this like weird space film in the 70s. Shelved his writing and was like, I can't think of anything else. We kind of left it for a bit, read this book, went back, applied this information to this movie, wrote it, finished it. That was Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Shit. No way.
Dude. And then so he, after that, this book, first off, it's a lifestyle almost, because it's just to understand that we're all the same, you know, because you're watching film, art imitates life and back and forth.
Yep.
But then George Lucas came back to Joseph Campbell and had him consult for the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I knew like he read the book and was inspired for A New Hope. I didn't realize. Dang. You know, I heard that George guy. I heard he's doing all right financially too.
I think he's doing all right.
I might check it out.
You know, I think Mickey Mouse wrote him a big paycheck, and I think he can take care of him pretty well. So.
Yeah, like in the 80s afterwards when Joseph did the interviews, George Lucas let him and Bill Morris do a series of interviews on Campbell or on Lucas Ranch. For that reason. Like, just anyway, the point I'm making is not to just, you know, fucking sell the guy so much, but it's just brilliant as an artist. It opens up so much.
I've been pitched on reading the book a lot, but you fucking sold me right there. I feel like an emotional journey I just went on. So yeah, I need to read it now. Yeah, you've convinced me.
I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I'm not big on reading, but I think I will read that book. I really feel like I have to now.
It's fantastic.
Where in the book did George read it and he was like, "Now this is Jar Jar Binks"? This is
he didn't. He was like, yeah. Adam, real quick, what do you plug, a big guy?
You know, you can always find me here on the Art 84 show, and obviously my movie discussion channel on YouTube, The Whirlwind Potato. I should be back in about a month. I've been on hiatus for about a month, so should be back soon though.
Maybe someday Virginia Forever will be on The Whirlwind Potato.
Hey, absolutely. That'd be great.
I would like to see Adam break that movie down. Because he basically, so The Whirlwind Potato takes movies or takes concepts of movies and breaks them down.
I dive deep.
And goes deep into pieces of it. So it's an honor to be on that show. So
thanks, buddy.
I believe it. Yeah, I love. You have a thing with titles too. Whirlwind Potato, man, you're knocking it out.
Nobody gets it though. It's too smart for people. They're like, "What the hell is a whirlwind potato?" And it's like, it's a whirlwind of movie news and reviews from a couch potato. Why doesn't anybody get this? Right.
It's just like my dean.
I just thought it was like some sexy, mysterious conglomerate of words.
I mean,
it's the same reason my dean didn't understand why my band was called Average Six. You know what I mean?
Too much. That's why nobody watches my channel.
Thank you so much for joining us. I had a great time. And,
awesome meeting you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is so fun. I appreciate it.
Come back again soon. And if you guys are ever on the East Coast or specifically in the Boston area, hit us up and let us know. We'd love to get together with you guys. So
yeah,
thank you so much, guys. Pleasure to meet you all.
All right, guys. And everyone else there watching, make sure you check out the84show.com on YouTube, iTunes, and all those other good things. And yeah, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Hey.